business, they controlled things, they ran major corporations, but at night they became different creatures, controlling, manipulative, power brokers, oversexed, hiding under the shroud of costumes and masks.
Wow.
That's what I think the Illuminati is. It includes some of the most powerful people we know on the planet during the daytime, but at night they become crazy.
Wow. I've got to say, that is the best definition I've ever heard, just to boil it down to the Illuminati. They are cultural chameleons. They are cultural shapeshifters. And I'm not saying literal shapeshifters, folks, in the David Icke area. I'm not criticizing him. It may be true. God, stuff just gets worse and worse the more I learn. But they are cultural chameleons, and they have a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, basically demeanor. And you're absolutely right. Let me give people the big inside baseball on the Illuminati right now. I've covered Skull and Bones. I've infiltrated Bohemian Grove. I have talked to some of the top people in Hollywood who have personally told me that they've been part of satanic rituals. I will reveal that here. And I have actually been invited to the outer circles of this, but decided not to go deeper into it. I'll stop right there, because you cross over that line, then even if you're an observer, you're like in their cult and they can kill you. And I'm
always stop before telling the truth.
Curiosity killed the cat, but I'm not that dumb. Let me give folks here a boil down. Vivian Kubrick, the protege of Stanley Kubrick, probably the greatest director in history. 2001: Space Odyssey, Eyes Wide Shut, Spartacus, Full Metal Jacket, the list goes on and on. Dr. Strangelove. She had not given an interview in like 16 years, and I was in Dallas demonstrating for the 40th anniversary of the JFK assassination that they were banning free speech in the city. So I came up there to demonstrate just for free speech, not even about JFK. And Liam McAdoo, one of my reporters, came over, and I was getting in the car because I've been protesting, but my crew pulled to pick me up. We're going to dinner. It was getting dark. It was raining, sleet. It was in the winter. It was in November. And she goes, that's Stanley Kubrick's daughter, Vivian Kubrick. And she wants to talk to you, go to dinner. And I Googled her on my phone, and I went, my God, that's Vivian Kubrick, the protege that actually made, pretty much directed some of his last films. Kubrick admitted that. She was the protege. She did some of the music. She's in 2001: Space Odyssey, The Shining, as a girl and a young lady. But she actually, some of the last films, basically co-directed those, but was so shy that she didn't want her name on it. I mean, that's how high-powered she is. And so I spent 3 days with her. And it was all off record. So most of it was off record, 90%, but I can tell you a little bit of it. She said basically Eyes Wide Shut is basically real.
It is. There's no question about it.
Absolutely. And she said that, well, I'm not allowed to go into it. In fact, it's so dangerous. I wish I'd even know this information. And then as a journalist, this hat you wear, George. You're an award-winning journalist yourself. I mean, you're told something off record, and then you're not allowed to talk about it. And then, quite frankly, you're sitting on top of a giant, box of TNT. He was killed when he refused to cut 25 minutes out of the film, or 24 minutes.
That's right. Before the movie ended, he died.
Absolutely. He died during the dispute, and they cut 24 minutes out of the film. And the stuff she told me was just, and here's the deal. She had moved. I didn't know that she'd moved to Texas because of me. She had moved here from California. This lady had, gone out with everybody from top stars, you name it. She had come here and hadn't told me, and just waiting to come meet me. Once she came on my show, once she interviewed me on the street twice, and then came on the show, she got basically whisked away. And all I would describe as almost like Men in Black to Florida, and we never heard from her again. I mean, she was basically just whisked away. And look, George, it's even crazier. Someone even more famous contacted me. I'm just going to imagine the most famous musician you can. Imagine the wife and son of that person. And they told me the same stuff, brother. And, and I heard out Prince was a big listener. He was also a listener to you, I was told by Mancow and others. He was trying to reach out, but was just too imprisoned by these people. And it is just, my God, thank God we never got imprisoned by this evil. Look, the Illuminati are this. They are humans that have a lot of ancient secrets that have been passed on of how to manipulate humanity and how to engage in manipulation through dimensional understanding towards a great goal. They're here to keep humans in the dark. That's why it's a big joke. Their name's the Illuminati, the illuminated ones. They're in the light because we're in the dark. They live and sleep. And they are just absolutely anti-human people that are claiming they're here to bring light and enlightenment, as your name, means, Nori. But they're doing the opposite of bringing light. They are obstructing the light so that they can control people. And they are building a planetary government that is meant to bring in an age of anti-human exterminism, the rise of the machines. They believe their god Lucifer has promised them if they wipe out humanity, they will then be allowed to merge with machines and become the chosen ones and go to the next dimension. And so but they first have to sacrifice 7 billion plus humans to carry us over to the next level. And this is actually, George, what they believe. And they have even, obviously talked to a lot of prominent people and threatened them and said, look, just join us. Lucifer is light, Lucifer is God, and you're not going to resist us, you're not going to stop us. They are incredible acolytes. Satanists are just kind of like a low-level, trashy version that they think they're being bad. Satan's fallen, they're doing what they want, do as thou wilt, behold the law, sacrifice babies, stuff like that. No. True Luciferians believe Lucifer is the true Christ, and Christ is the counterfeit, and they believe the devil is God. But first, they've got to bring humanity down, because humanity is an aberrant creation of the devil, and that Lucifer is countering the devil in a new fiery flood to exterminate humans from the earth.
That's well said, too. There's no question about what's going on in this planet is extremely dangerous. That's why someone like Donald Trump is so popular, because he's not part of that club.
And he claims to be pro-human. He claims to be pro-prosperity. He doesn't say America's bad. He doesn't say wealth is bad. He doesn't say success is bad. He's not a humanist eugenicist. I mean, at least that's, listen, what blows me away is I now realize that 2 years before Trump even ran for office, he had prominent people reach out to me and say, hey, Donald Trump knows what's going on. And then by the 5th or 6th prominent person, even after he was running, invite me over to their house. You're at some movie star's house, and they go, by the way, Donald Trump really likes you. Donald Trump's really awake. He wants to fight these people. You're like, Donald Trump? And then he runs, and then he reaches out and comes on the show. I think that tells us a lot that Donald Trump was, when he first ran, reached out to me. So, listen, this is some heavy stuff, folks. And all I'm saying is Coast to Coast AM, George Norrie, myself, all of us are at the heart of it, because we're just pro-human, pro-liberty, pro-freedom, pro-God, pro-life. And in pro-life, I mean just pro-decency and honor. And we've kept ourselves out of the whole mix, just trying to be reporters on what's happening. And I think that's why George and myself and a few others occupy a very, very special space. And I've kind of grown into that. Lord knows I've been obnoxious and made mistakes, and I apologize for it. I've really gotten more sophisticated. I just want folks to know what George said. We are in a epically critical time, and every one of you is just as important as George or myself or Donald Trump, because as Mahatma Gandhi said, each of us has the seed of the universe within us, and the potential is unlimited.
Well said. Now, why do I get emails from people who say, ask Alex if he's Bill Hicks? Who in the heck is Bill Hicks?
Man, it's crazy. I love Protestants, I love Catholics, I love Jews, I love agnostics, I love atheists, quite frankly. People can have their own views. I love Muslims as long as they're not Wahhabis. And a lot of Muslim friends from high school and college. There was some black Catholic guy named Alex Jones, and he wrote some book like a decade ago. Somebody called him and said, why'd you write this in a book? And I said, I'm not Alex Jones, this Catholic guy. This is kind of crazy. It's the same thing. Bill Hicks was this popular comedian, and he lived in Houston and Austin, and he was friends with a guy that I did a few videos with. I've done like over 25 films, over 100 videos. And he also, I met Joe Rogan through this guy, the UFC commentator and top comedian. So I guess I'm, Joe Rogan too. But I met Joe Rogan back in 1998, right when he quit news radio. Yeah, it's crazy. But Texas Monthly's written about it. Major newspapers have written about it. I had people come up to me in restaurants and go, Bill. And I finally turn around and they go, oh, I knew you were him. He died in 93 or 94 of pancreatic cancer.
Did you look like him, or did he look like you?
Kind of like I look like you. We look like men. We got short hair. He had dark hair. I have brown hair. No, what's crazy is that There's like hundreds of millions, and I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of, you can Google it, of web pages. You know, there's tens of thousands of pages, some of them hundreds of pages. So there's just millions and millions of pages that I'm this guy. And they went to my yearbooks in Dallas and then in Austin.
Oh, wow.
And they got them and said there were fake yearbooks in Dallas and Austin. So here's the NSA spying on us. Here's GMO crops. Here's chimeras in MIT magazine. Human-animal chimeras are gestating on U.S. research farms. That's MIT Technology Review. No one wants to face that. No one wants to admit that's going on. But they'll just obsess all day
about you and Bill Hicks.
That I'm Bill Hicks, and I mean, I'm just like, so I'm going to say this now. Yes, I'm a 50-something-year-old guy named Bill Hicks. Can we move on now and fight this?
Who happens to be a great Alex Jones impersonator.
Well, the truth is, George, he's a better comedian than I could ever be, so I'm kind of stealing his thunder. But the truth is, I'm really George Norrie. There's a new conspiracy.
Well, let me tell you, I think you and Dan Heiser many years ago pushed me in a puddle in Austin, Texas.